You were expecting me?
Sure, I was expecting you, but do come in, please. Let me take your coat. Do sit down.
Really expecting me?
Really?
Well,
You?
Well, I think...
Do you think I'm mistaking you for somebody else? No. It was you I was expecting. I know I haven't got my glasses on. On the other hand, I only need my glasses to see things close up. I recognised you when you were at the gate. Now perhaps we are close to one another. I need my glasses on so that neither you nor I may have the slightest doubt. They're a bit out of focus, but there's no doubt. This was taken on the 20th of June in Palermo. You were with my husband. This one here was taken at 5 in the afternoon on the 28th of July. Here you are on your own. I've unlocked your car, and in this one your wife is there too. Would you like to see them? Do sit down. Would you like something to drink? Do you know, you're very photogenic.
Here. Take them.
Your wife is an attractive girl. I wonder whether you know. She resembles the Princess of Monaco. But as for this one, I might be wrong, mightn't I?
You might be right.
So you never realized. Are you in love with her? It's not out of curiosity that I'm asking you.
Why then?
You will see. Are you in love with her? Is it that you don't wish to answer me, or should I take it that you don't have any feelings for her?
As you wish.
Precise answer. Because before anything else, I need to know whether you can take it.
Before what?
You've already answered my question.
I don't think so.
Oh yes. I told you, before anything else, I need to know whether you can take it. And you never asked me what it is that you should take. What revelation about your wife and her love for you. You latched onto the word before. Before what, indeed? You're not worried about your wife, you're worried about yourself. Right, that's fine with me.
You asked me whether I can take it. Take what?
What I am about to tell you.
About my wife. You worry whether or not I can take it?
About your wife, and I wonder how you would react. For you and I are destined to have a long and solid friendship. And we need to put these things behind us. Provided, of course, you wish to do so.
But my wife?
I will get to her. But tell me, do you understand?
Understand what?
The photographs. The fact that I was expecting you. Do you get it?
No.
Don't disappoint me. If you really don't get it, all my hopes will be dashed. And yours too.
Mine?
Certainly yours too. Haven't I just told you we shall become good friends? Now tell me honestly, do you understand? And don't be afraid to talk. There aren't any hidden microphones, no voice recorder on. You can check if you want. I'm about to offer you a simple job. Fast, profitable job, no risks attached. Not to mention the fact that I'm saving you from a real and immediate danger. So you must admit that I at least have the right to test your IQ. So do you get it now?
Not quite.
Obviously. Then tell me what you have understood.
I've understood that you know.
Short and exhaustive answer. Would you like to know how I reached my conclusion?
Yes, I would.
Fine, but it's only right that you should know. What time are you meeting my husband at? For it's better I tell you here and now that the basis of our future friendship is your meeting with my husband tonight. What time are you meeting him?
We're not supposed to meet.
I see. You are still suspicious of me. I know my husband very well. He couldn't resist meeting you tonight. What time are you meeting him?
At midnight.
Where?
In a country lane, some 30 kilometers from here.
Okay. We have time, but perhaps it's better you ask me the questions.
I wouldn't know where to begin from. I'm quite confused.
Really? I thought you were quicker than that. A man of more immediate intuition, quicker reflexes. Perhaps the reason for your amazement, for your confusion, is the fact that my husband never told you anything about me, my character, my ability to perceive his innermost thoughts. After 8 years of life together, a man like him is an open book for a woman like me. A very silly and tedious book. What do you think?
Think what?
About my husband.
Judging by the situation in which I find myself in now, he's an idiot.
But you might have realized that even sooner. What an idiot he is. I gather you have been dazzled by his fine appearance, his manners, his authority, the way he continually but also cautiously and nonchalantly shows off his possession of money. And he has money, don't worry. I too fell for it. Not that I regret it. I'm only sorry that I married him, let's say, for love and not for interest. But I would have married him at any rate. My regret was almost immediate. I accepted, but not got used to a situation which enabled me to satisfy all my tantrums and my spite, and which offered me all that a woman could wish for, including the scorn of the man who lived beside me. But then, the idiot had to go and break the balance.
I wouldn't say that he is so totally an idiot like you make him out to be. In this situation, yes, he is an idiot. He's behaved in a stupid way. But he is a self-made man. So say all, and so he told me.
You seem to have a novel-like romantic opinion about self-made men, typical of an American. Apart from my husband, I know a circle of self-made men, and I can tell you now they have all been made by others who in turn were made by circumstances and intrigues, while, although they may make history, are still fortuitous and shallow. In the last war, my husband was in the army, together with Franco Rossi. You know, he went on to become the Minister of Public Works. They were both volunteers, that is all. And you have no idea what an idiot Rossi is. In a well-mannered, honest society where no false papers are forged and where ability and merit stand alone, they would, in the best of cases, be no more than 2 pen pushers in a public office. Or in the worst of cases, they would both be in jail by now. But instead...
Instead, they are rich, powerful, respected. You asked me if I could ask you questions. May I? There are many things I'm curious about. The most important thing for me is this. Why were you expecting me right now?
Because today at breakfast, my husband asked if I would be spending the evening out. Go to the cinema to some friends, for he would be home late. Very late from a meeting at one of his companies. During the summer, there were 2 such meetings. So this would be the 3rd one. The 3rd one should be the good one. Good for him, fatal for me. It's not only me, but all who are close to my husband know that he is addicted to the idea of superstitious perfection surrounding the number 3. Not to mention the number 9, this even makes him delirious. So the 3rd meeting is on the 3rd of the month. You rang my doorbell at 9 precisely. It was him, wasn't it, who told you to ring my door at 9 on the dot?
Yes, but I thought...
You thought that it was an organised detail, born out of his calculated mind. You have no idea how little organised his mind is, if he even has one. I'd like to add that in his decision to entrust you with a mission so delicate, let's say, risky, the fact that you were a mathematics teacher played no minor role. He barely knows his multiplication tables, so he nurtures the conviction that thefts are inspired by sublime mathematics. You know, the thefts one reads about in the papers, well-timed and perfect, and when they are not perfect, he analyses them in detail, finds their weaknesses and flaws, and in his mind he makes them ideally perfect. There was a famous murder trial some years ago, I'm sure you remember. My husband became so passionately engrossed in that case to the extent that when he could not attend the court himself, he would go and send one of his employees to listen and take an account of every detail of the case, of every mistake that the defendant might have made to incriminate himself. At the same time, while he was looking for the defendant's mistake, he was making one himself.
Did you start suspecting him since then?
Even before then. But it was because of his passionate interest in this case that I realized his intentions were heading to a very precise plan.
So you resorted to an investigation agency?
It's a long story and an expensive one, but as you see, it was worth it. For years, all the investigation agency reported to me was about his infidelities. It was laughable. His infidelities. Even a few months after we were married, I didn't care about his infidelities anymore. He had always paid his women, and he continued to pay them. He'd even paid me with our marriage, thinking that my cost, although massive and long-term, was tolerable.
And was it not tolerable?
Oh, well, clearly not.
No, I mean, at what point did he become intolerable to you?
It was my own fault, naturally. I did everything to distance myself from him, to push him to the margin of my life, of my days, of my nights. I didn't go with other men. Well, only once, when I first became disgusted with my husband. I did it just to try. But it was a failure, so don't deceive yourself. Don't be offended. I know what you're thinking. That you could get to all of my money instead of part of it. By going over my live body after going over my husband's dead body. I want everything to be clear between us from now on.
You reckon your husband's not wrong after all?
I reckon nothing. And if you, at the stage you're at, have any intention of weighing the merits of your possible actions, the execution of my husband's plan or the execution of my plan on archangel scales, that's your business. But I wouldn't recommend it. You are a little greedy delinquent.
No, I'm not.
Really?
No more than you are.
Sure. But a lot less than your wife, I would say.
How can you say that?
I've seduced her from what I know. You know, let's put it this way, that your wife goes with other men.
Not true.
Oh yes, it's true, all right. But don't be offended. What could all the men she goes with take away from a woman like your wife? The first report I received from the investigation agency told me very nice information about the two of you. She is 22, a teacher at an infant school, very beautiful, lively, elegant. He is 27, a temporary maths teacher at a secondary school. Very nice, serious type, both very much in love, very quiet. The second report I received and all subsequent reports contained nothing different about you, but they revealed your wife's unsuspected, surprising activity. For money, undoubtedly. So even though you really didn't know anything so far, don't worry. For money, only for money. Do you know that once, only once, she had it off my husband?
I suspected so. To be precise, I suspected so from the beginning. I thought your husband got close to us because he wanted to get to my wife. But But then, after a while, my suspicions vanished. I had no more reason to suspect him. After he'd already said what he wanted from us, or more to the point, what he wanted from me.
In my husband's plan, however, a little liaison with your wife was necessary. To use, I believe, in the event that you, through carelessness in the execution of the plan, would blow your cover. So that he could say, I had an affair with his wife. The husband came to know about it, and for revenge he killed mine. But don't let the suspicion consume you that my husband, in collusion with your wife, would have got the police after you. He is not that clever. On the other hand, your wife, I don't think, would have consented to that final solution. I think I know what kind of a woman she is.
What kind of woman is she?
She is like me. She is like so many other women. We adore material things. We've replaced God, the universe, and love with material things. Shop windows are our firmament. Walk-in wardrobes and kitchen utensils embody our universe. My father, who spent all his life in rented accommodation, never wishing to own his own house. Today, there is no Evelyn who wouldn't wish to own the place where he or she lives, who wouldn't take out a 25-year bank loan in order to own their house. It is the banks who administer metaphysics. But enough of that. Your wife, therefore, resembles me. We all resemble one another. That is the problem nowadays. Your wife, either endowed with indifference or innocence. I'm sure it was she who first got excited at my husband's deal proposal. By the way, what were the terms of his proposal?
He has already deposited a large sum of money in an account for us, a bank in Hamburg.
How much?
200,000 euros.
So instead of coming here tonight, you could have flown to Hamburg and...
Yes, I could have, but if everything goes right, 4 years from now, we're going to get another 400,000.
You will get 500,000 from me, and in 1 year's time. Will you trust me?
I don't know.
You must trust me. And keep in mind that my plan entails the smaller risk, while the one you were about to execute would have sent you to jail with absolute, let's say, mathematical certainty. In the event that anything happened to me, the investigation agency was instructed to send copies of all reports and photographs to the police. Whereas now, even if I didn't fulfill my commitment or had the intention of betraying you, you only run the risk of not getting any more money and being charged with a crime of passion. 2 or 3 years in prison at the most. Take my advice. In the event that you fall into a trap, stick to the story of your wife's betrayal, to your atrocious disappointment at my husband's actions at all times.
Seems to me you're placing me in a trap.
If you didn't leave here with that suspicion, I would say you were an idiot. Would it be too indiscreet if I asked what kind of death was planned for me?
Gun.
Very well. It's getting close to the time of your meeting with my husband. I'll see you out. 2 shots, please. He's quite a strong man. You have a silencer, I suppose?
In the gun? Yes.
Very good. Good luck again. Hello. Is my husband still in the office? Has he already left? Yes, I know it's not the first time that he's late, but something very strange happened tonight. It's really upsetting me. A strange man called to the house. He was looking for my husband. He was quite uptight and he had a threatening air about him. No, it wasn't just my impression. He stood there waiting for a long time. He has only just left. The thing is, I think I know the reason why this man was so threatening, so frightening. What? My husband's already left? When did he leave? Very well. Thank you, good night. Is that the police? Is Inspector Grimaldi there, please? Thank you. Oh, Inspector, thank God you're there this time of night. Yes, it's Mrs. Bianchi. Listen, I'm very worried about my husband. It's embarrassing, humiliating to me, but I must tell you. My husband has been having an affair with a married woman. A very beautiful young woman. I know because I had them followed by investigators. I'm not ashamed to confess it. No, I do not wish to accuse him of adultery. On the contrary, I'm worried that something might have happened to him. Because you see, this evening, her husband came to the house looking for him. He stayed for a couple of hours. He had a very threatening air about him. I tried to talk to him. He just gave me a few evasive answers. He's just left. Inspector, I'm worried that something will happen, that he's going to do something to my husband. What should I do? Oh, okay. I'll wait another 30 minutes and call you again. Thank you, Inspector.